Hello guys, today I'm going to be covering chapter 10 section 3 ellipses. The first thing I'm going to be covering is if you're given two foci and you're trying to and one point on the ellipse and you're trying to find the constant sum. The way you would do this is you would put it into this formula. Squared. Okay, so this is your x1, this is your x3, this is your y1, this is your y3, this is your x2, this is your x3, this is your y3, and this is your, no, this is your y2, and this is your y3. So if you were to plug that in, you would get this. If you were to simplify these, you would get this. So you would get this. In this example, your constant sum would be 10. Now we're going to move on to something else. For this one, if you are given, you're going to have to write the standard form of an ellipse. If they're giving you the center, the vertex, and the focus, you're going to put it into this. Alright. Our center is this. Our focus is going to be this. Ooh, misspelling. And our vertex is going to be negative 10, 0. Okay. Now we're going to have to identify the values of A and C. Now looking at this, we can kind of sketch out that it's going to look like something like this. Center being at 0, 0, and the vertex being at negative 10, 0. So we can conclude that A is going to be 10, and the focus are going to be both here and here, this one being negative 8, 0, and this one being 8, 0. We're going to be using 8, 0 for this one. And we're going to say C equals 8. 8, 0 here. Now all we need to be able to solve this is to find B. How we're going to do that is we're going to use this formula. A squared minus B squared equals C squared. Now all you have to do is just plug in the numbers. So you should end up getting B equals 6 or B squared equals 36. They're both the same. So now all you have to do is just plug in these numbers for this. Oh wait, this is supposed to be squared too. My bad, I forgot that. So now you're gonna put it in. You're gonna have the x squared on the top, and since the center is 0, 0, you don't have to add or subtract h or in k for this one. So it's easy. It's gonna be x squared over a squared. A is 10. 10 squared is 100 plus y squared over b squared. B is 6. B squared is 36, and that equals 1. That's how you find the equation. Now I'm just going to write down this problem, and I'm going to show you how to graph it. Okay, let's say now you're given an equation for an ellipse, and you have to graph it. First thing you want to do is look at the equation, and you want to find out which way is it going to be. Is it going to be vertical or is it going to be horizontal? An easy way to figure this out is just look at the bottom number. You look at the greater one. The greater one is under the y, which will make it vertical. However, if the greater one was under the x, that would make it horizontal. Since it's vertical, we know it's going to look something like this. Okay. Now what we want to do is identify the center. The center is identified by h and k. H is this one, and k is this one. So h equals 3, and k equals 1. So we know the center of this is 3, 1. Those are the coordinates for the center. Now what we all have to do is find out what a and b equal. How we figure that out is looking at these numbers. I picked a to be the greater number, so this one is going to be a squared, and this one is going to be b squared. If you're wondering why they're squared, it's because the standard form is x squared over a or b squared plus y squared over a or b squared. A goes to the greater one, b goes to the smaller one. I find this much easier to use. So a is going to be 6, and b is going to be 4. Now what we have to do is figure out where the vertices are and the co-vertexes. How we figure out the vertexes, let me just open up a new page here, is easy. To figure out the vertices, you have to use this. If it's vertical, you leave h the same because obviously it's not moving this way or bye-bye. H stays the same, and then you do k plus a. And there's two vertices, and the other one would be h and k minus a. Now we're just going to go back and look. H is 3, so 3 stays the same for both of them. Now we got to pick k. K is 1, so there's 1 here, plus a. We look back, a is 6, so 1 plus 6, and the other one will be 1 minus 6. That will make these vertices 3 and 7, 3 and -5. So we will go back to our graph and we would plot them in. 3 and 7, 3 and -5. Now all we need to finish the graph is to find the co-vertices. The co-vertices are found almost the same way, but instead of adding to the k, you're going to do the same thing to the h. So these are co-vertices. The first one is going to be h plus b, and k stays the same. And the second one is going to be h minus b, and k stays the same. That would end up being 3 plus, and we will look at 4, which is 4, which is, we will look at b, which is 4. And k will stay the same. And k should be 1. Yep, it's 1. Now the other one is 3 minus 4, and 1 stays the same. That would end up giving you the coordinates 7, 1, and negative 1, 1. And we will plot those on our graph. And that is how you graph an ellipse. It's really easy. You just gotta remember the formulas. Let me just give them to you right now. You can have two types of ellipses, we know, for right now. Horizontal and vertical. Ooh. There. Close enough. For horizontal, the equation would usually be why would the A be under the X's? Because usually I use A as a greater one. Again, it doesn't really matter which one you use, A or B. Just remember how it looks. If the bigger number is under the Y, it's going to be like this, and if it's under the X, it's going to be like this. Now for the important stuff. If you want to know the vertexes, all you have to do is H plus A, you leave K alone, and H minus A, and leave K alone. To find the foci, you do H plus C, leave K alone, and H minus C, leave K alone. To find the covertexes, you leave H alone this time, however you do K plus B, and the second one you do H, K minus B. For vertical, the equation usually be X minus H squared over B squared plus Y minus K squared over A squared. Again, it doesn't really matter where you put the A's or B's, it's easier for me to keep the A as the greater one because it makes these much easier. But that's just me. This is about your preference. For this one, if you want to find the vertexes, you do H and you do K plus A and then H, K minus A. If you want to find the foci, you're going to do H, K plus C, H, K minus C. Then for covertexes, you're going to do H plus B, leave K alone, and H minus B, leave K. This you gotta remember this. I believe it's also on your yellow paper. If not, just memorize this because it's gonna help you a lot during the test. Or this is like the only way you can graph the ellipses. I hope this helps. Bye guys. If you have any more questions, leave a comment below or on Edmodo.